Hey, welcome to Gulf Premier Sarasota. We all have money. We all wish we had more money. We wonder how we can get more money. But very few of us would consider ourselves experts on how to manage money. So I have a high school degree, I have a college degree, I have an earned master's degree, I have an honorary doctorate, I have an earned doctorate. So today what I would like for us to consider is this: how is it that all of us who have the same common denominator, we have money and money needs, how can we get better at managing money? Today I want to offer 7 tips that will help us to manage our money and set ourselves up for success both on short term and long term. Let's ask you to do me a favor, would you? Would you hit that subscribe button right now? Would you hit the share button right now? Would you ding that notification bell right now? And then here we go with tip number 1. You got to budget your expenses as well as your income. There's 2 things on your budget. You got to know how much you make, but you got to know how much you spend. If you don't know what you're spending, there's no sense in knowing how much you're making. I suggest that you look into one of the many apps, and there are a lot of them out there, but those apps will help you track your money. A very good one is called Money Track. You've got to know where you're spending the money, and I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about the can of soda. I'm talking about the ice cream shake. I'm talking about the lunch sandwich. If you don't know where you're dining, how much you're spending on groceries, how much you're spending on utilities, how much you're spending on entertainment, your car payment, your mortgage payment, your rent, there's no way that you can have an accurate budget. You've got to know where you're spending so that you can know where to cut that spending in order to start saving. Tip number 2, create a budget, and whatever you do, stick to it. It's more complicated if you don't have a fixed income. I realize that. If you're on commission, you don't know what you're going to be making, it's tough. And so many people give up right there because they say, I don't know how much I'm going to make month to month. So here's what I suggest you do. Go back for the last 12 months. You have a thing called a W-2 or a 1099. You know how much you earn. Take that number, divide it by 12, and let that be your monthly base for your budget. Stick with it. Once you've kept those spending records, you can now begin to build on your budget. Again, income and expenditures. Tip number 3, make the decision to save. Make the decision to save and then manage it. Emergency funds are crucial because life happens, and life is going to catch you when we're not expecting it. Even if it's a very small amount, make sure that every single paycheck you're taking something and putting it away for emergency. I'm talking about as little as $10. Just make sure that it's going for something that is both short-term and long-term. You don't want to be forced to borrow money at high interest rates on a credit card to fix the brakes on your car or to fix the transmission on your car. You don't want to be paying 18 to 21%. That'll crush you. You want to budget for those expenses. Use automatic contributions such as FS, CDs. Pocket change to grow emergency savings funds will reinforce the habit of putting money away for short and long-term needs. Just make sure you get started and then be consistent, stick with it. Tip number 3. Tip number 4, here's a biggie. Get your credit score up. Wherever it is right now, unless it's perfect, and very few people have a perfect credit score, get it higher. The best way for you to get your credit score up is to pay your bills on time, not late, on time. I'm talking about not 1 second late. Pay them early. 1 day early is better than 1 second late. You need at least a 580 credit score to even be considered for a mortgage, but you want to get a better interest rate because if you get to 620, the interest rate goes better. But you want to be up between 750 and 825 to get the best interest rates possible. Those scores make a difference, and they make a difference for 15 or 30 years depending on the life of your mortgage. Get that credit score up. Tip number 5, dump the services that you're not using. Some of you have apps on your phone, you're paying a monthly fee. Maybe it's $2, maybe it's $5, maybe it's $10 a month. You haven't used those enough to merit them, and if you want to save money, even if you are using them, stop using them and find another way to find it to do it free. Example, did you buy a car? Did you buy a car 3 or 4 or 5 years ago? When you bought that car brand spanking new, you had to pay high interest rates or high rates on insurance, but you call the insurance company back and you ask them what it would be now to pay for that same insurance, because maybe now you don't need the comprehensive. Maybe you just need liability because it's going to cost you more money to have the comp. So ways you can do that. Another tip, do you run your car through the car wash and pay $15 a pop to do that once a week? Do you realize that's $60 a month? That's $630 a year. Now, $630 a year, just think about that. How much is your car payment? Your car payment at $300, that's 2 car payments a year. Would you do something to get 2 free car payments? It's as simple as washing the car in your driveway by hand. It'll take you 20 minutes. Save the $630 a year. Tip number 5, dump the services that you don't need and start doing a little bit by yourself to save some money. Tip number 6, save cash for big purchases. Now, I'm going to be so bold as to say only 2 big purchases should be in your life. I'm talking about the car you drive and the home that you live in. Everything else, you can learn to discipline yourself to save before you buy. So don't borrow money to buy the sofa, the love seat, the end tables, the lamps, the paint for your walls. Small savings make a big difference over the course of a long period of time. My friend, you've got to do something different. Save. Don't spend. When your guys and girlfriends go out and they have a drink, think about it. It's $5, $6, and $10 for one drink. Go out and have a good time, but learn to save your money rather than spend it. Save it for the big occasions. It'll make a big difference. Last tip, tip number 7, plan an investment strategy and work your plan. Don't worry about how much you're saving, just worry about if you're saving. Small contributions to investments over a long period of time make a huge difference. And your money that you're saving a little bit here and there is going to begin to generate money as the months turn into years. Find an employer. Find out if your employer offers you a matching 401k plan. If he does, I want to encourage you discipline yourself to put as much money into that account as that employer will match. Otherwise, you know what you're doing? You're taking free money, taking a match every 30 days and lighting it. You're just throwing it away. Take that money. Let your employer give you free money. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Say no to self now so that you can say yes to yourself in years to come. Cut.